Did he ever express concern for his safety around her? Like, hey, man, this woman is...
No.
Great. Okay.
No.
Recording.
It is November 1, 2022 at 14:03. I'm here with Christopher Martin, who goes by...
Hinch.
Okay, beautiful. So, Chris, thanks for coming down.
No problem.
I just... couple of things. Primarily, I want to ask you about the incident that happened a week before the fatal crash when you were sent down to the highway. But before we get there, I just want to ask you, where do you know Dominic? How long have you known him?
I know Dominic through his mother.
Okay.
She actually took care of a couple cases for me. We ended up becoming real good friends.
Okay.
And so it's been about 2.5, 3 years now.
Beautiful.
And, I always just try to be there for the kids. And, they kind of looked up to me, and I just kind of been around for them.
Cool. So, do you remember the incident that I'm about to ask you about where
Yes.
you picked him up from the highway?
Yes.
Okay. That day, what do you remember? Where were you when you got the call? Who called you? And what did they ask you to do?
I was actually at Christine's house. We were sitting around. She had just came back. She was sick. She got out the hospital and wasn't feeling well. Dominic called her, and he was upset. And she was like, well, where are you at? And he was like, I'm driving in the car with her. And he was like, I just want to go. He was like, I don't want to be around her anymore. I'm done. So she was like, well, do you mind going to go pick him up? I said, not a problem. So as I leave her house, go to the highway, get on the highway, and I call him. I said, well, where are you at? And she was like, I'll crash this car. I'm like, dude, what you mean? I'm like, Dominic, just tell her to pull over. Like, I'm right behind you guys, so just pull over and stop, and I'm right here. Like, I'll be there in 2 seconds. So I hop on the highway. They were more down towards the Pearl. I get on at 82, and they were more a little bit past the Pearl exit right there. And, it was raining. So as soon as I pull up, she's just going like this, and he's trying to get out the car. And once he get in the car with me, I said, dude, you don't have to deal with this. You're young. You got a long life to live. You don't have to deal with no chick in her attitudes, whatever. If you're not happy, just let her go. You know what I mean? If it was true love, she'll be back. So we're sitting there having that conversation in the car on the way back home. And man, I would have never expected that would even happen. A week later, just mind blowing. But we got in the car, and he was like, man, I just can't deal with, she don't want to listen. She drives like a maniac. I was like, well, you don't have to drive with her. You have your own car, and just let her go about her way. Take your time away from her. Get yourself together. And he was like, yeah, I think that's going to be the best thing to do. And then later, about we get back to the house, probably 20 minutes after we get to the house, her dad shows up. He wants Kinsey stuff. He's like, I have no problem. It's like, just have her you can bring my stuff back over here, and I'll give you her stuff. So he went and grabbed some purses and gave them back to her, and or gave them to her dad. And yeah.
So let me clarify a few things. So when you got the call, you said 71 at Pearl Road. Were they going toward Strongsville or toward Cleveland? Were they
Towards
north or
Cleveland.
south? So they were 71 north?
Yes.
And they had just passed. Did they get to Bagley or before Bagley?
Before Bagley.
Okay, so that's going to be 71 north between Pearl and Bagley. So when you left the house, were you on the phone with him? Did he call you? Did you call him?
I called him.
You called him?
I called him to find out where his location, where they actually were at. Because I'm coming down the highway trying to meet up with them. And
okay. And they were still moving as this was happening. She didn't.
I was on the phone with him. I said, well, just tell her to pull it over. You know, we don't need anything happening. Just tell her to pull it over. So she pulled the car over. I said, thank God. I'm right behind you. And so I pulled up.
Who is she?
Kenzie.
Okay. And when you were on the phone with him, can you clarify again what you heard her say over the phone?
She says she'll crash this car right now.
You heard her say
Yes.
that? Okay. And so they pulled the car over. Were they on the right side or the left side? Do you remember?
Right side.
Right side.
Yeah.
So
Right off the berm.
right off the berm. So did you get out of the car or did Dom just come back to you?
Well, I was starting to get out the car because I seen her just going over, grabbing him and swinging at him.
So she's swinging at him, reaching
Yeah.
over? Okay.
And I started to get out the car, and then I seen the door open, and he jumped out. And I said, well, come on, dude. It's raining. Let's get in the car.
Okay.
We're out of here.
And so when you guys left, where was she?
She was still in the car.
Still in the car, still
Yep.
at the highway? Okay.
Yeah, I let her pull off before we pulled off.
Okay.
You know, just to make sure the traffic was clear. She got on, boom, and we got off at Bagley, turned back around, came in.
How long have you known her?
About the same amount of time.
Same amount of time?
Yeah.
Did you ever talk to her?
Very few.
Very few.
She'll
So
say hi, bye, you know, and that's just about it. We never really had conversations.
ever see them get into it?
A few times they argued,
Are
you know. Yeah.
And what was that like?
You would just tell her to go, grab your stuff and go. You don't want her around, you know. Like, well, that's the best thing for her to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, separate yourself from that situation.
On the way back from that incident, how did Dominic feel to you? How did he seem? How would you describe him?
He was upset.
Upset?
Yeah. Because they broke up at that point.
Okay.
Then they ended up back together 2 days later.
Okay. Was he angry?
No. He was like, he just couldn't deal with it no more.
What exactly did he describe as far as what she had done? Did he tell you, I mean, can you believe she did this or did that?
Well, he was saying that it was over something stupid. Like, he asked her to do something and she didn't want to do it. And he was like, well, look, you know, all I'm just asking is you keep stuff clean and this, that, and the other. And he didn't want to chill with one of her friends. And I guess that's where she was trying to go to.
Okay.
And it's like, I don't even like them people. So why would I even put myself around them? I said, I get you.
Did he ever confide in you, Dominic?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit? Did he
Yeah.
ever express concern for his safety around her? Like, hey man, this woman is
No,
great. Okay.
no.
Did he feel like she tried to kill him that day? Like she intentionally was trying to drive the car into a wall, or was that just a threat? Or
I think it was just a threat.
Mhm.
I don't think he took it real serious because if that was the case, he would have never got back in the car with her.
okay. And do you know how they got back together 2 days later? Did she just showed up? Or
Actually,
any idea?
the day they got back together, I ended up flying out or driving out to Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay.
So the day that he passed away, I got the phone call early in the morning, and I drove all the way back that day.
I'm sorry for your loss, man.
Yeah.
This has been very difficult for everybody.
For everybody, it's
Well,
sad situation.
is there anything else about that incident or any episodes like this incident that you're aware of that I need to
Well, they
document?
pretty much stayed to themselves. You know,
Stayed to
he'll
themselves.
come out and play basketball, and then when she was working, and then we would just hang out. Then all the kids we would just shoot around and sit in the backyard and just hang out. And every time she would come over, she'd come over maybe for dinner if she was cooking like some non-gluten food for her that she can eat, and she would come over and have dinner. But really was a quiet person. Really didn't say much to anybody.
Was Dominic shaken up after that episode?
He was upset about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, they've been together for how many years, And teenage love,
Right.
Hate to have to break up with your girlfriend, but like I said, there's plenty other fish in the sea.
You ever been in a car with her?
No,
No?
no.
What's
No,
up
I
with
done
that?
seen her drive down the street by herself. So
Yeah?
I'm not getting in the car.
And how's her driving?
100 miles an hour. You know, she just drive left foot. You know, that's like because she was coming from Dunkin' Donuts one day, and I'm like, damn, she hitting the corners. You hear tires. I'm like, whoa, hold up. You know, but that's how she drove. You know, young kids. And I tell my daughter all the time, she just asks for a car. And I said, no. After this, nah, you're gonna have to wait.
Dom ever express safety being in the car with her? I've heard he's a very cautious driver.
He is very cautious. And then he just knew she drove crazy. You know, she had that left foot. You know, a lot of these teens do. Sucks, but you know, that's why I won't give my daughter a car now.
Yeah. So you've seen her drive, never been in the car with her. Dominic never kind of expressed any concern getting in the car.
No, I mean, he would tell her to slow it down. You know what I mean? If he
Yeah.
felt like he was, you know.
Okay. Well, you know, if you can think of anything else at a later time, like I said, I just wanted to focus in on this particular incident, just because you picked him up.
Yeah.
Did he mention anything about him maybe trying to grab the steering wheel? Did he say, like, I
He
tried
didn't
to
say.
stop the car, maybe try to put it in neutral, anything?
No, he didn't say nothing about none of that.
Okay. All right. Do you have any questions for me?